Family. I'd like to thank you all of you for coming out to my book release. I was asked earlier if I was nervous about addressing a crowd, and I said that I'd given speeches to admirals and captains and commanders and other high muckety-mucks in business, and I had never been more nervous than I am now. I'd just like to start off by saying, what is a dream? We all have them. We all have a dream of what we want to do or where we want to be or what's going on. A dream is not just sleeping and having a movie play out in your subconscious mind. A dream is something that you set your mind to, something you desire, and then figure out how to make that dream a reality. Like achieving Olympic gold 23 times. That is his dream. Or climbing a mountain that you've always seen pictures of, and you're like, I can climb that mountain. Or like marrying the love of your life, like most of us have done. As a young man, I read voraciously. I read everything from newspapers to magazines to online content when it became available. And yes, I've read books out the wazoo. I've read so many books, it's unbelievable. And after finishing a book by one of my favorite authors, Timothy Zahn, I remember thinking to myself, I can write a book. And the dream began. I didn't realize it was a dream at that time. I just thought it was just a lark that I could just do it. Here I was, a kid from Hollywood, Florida, with no training in creative writing or any idea how to even begin writing a book. Now I just sat down, I thought of something, and I started writing. Little did I realize at the time what an incredible endeavor this would be. The time involved, the anxiety of trying to create a whole new story and a whole new world that doesn't copy someone else. Because there's so many good authors and books out there, it's hard not to duplicate somebody. And the tears when I had to decide when to kill off a beloved character or when to make something major happen to that character. From writing dialogue and expressing emotion with that dialogue on a printed page was not easy. I wanted the reader to feel what my characters were feeling. And then to developing a love interest between characters, which was something that was kind of out of my element. The story that I wrote was as emotionally draining for me as it was for my characters. You might find it funny, I find it funny now that I look back on it, but there are certain parts of the book that, as I was writing them, I had tears in my eyes, because I knew where the story was going and how much it would affect the main characters. I don't know if all authors go through that, but I know this guy did. And I agonized over some of the decisions I had to make because I love the characters. And to develop Jake's personality, to develop his code, the code he lives by and will die by if necessary, these decisions had to happen to bring the story to life. This book is the achievement of a dream that had been a long time coming. I started writing this book over 15 years ago. I didn't have a computer at the time, so I had to handwrite it out in a notebook in pencil. Then later on, a friend, Robert Sanchez, who's not here at the moment, he let me use his laptop while we were on cruise. And I had to transcribe like 40 pages of written notes and storyline into a Word 95 program. What a pain. Anyone who's worked with Word 95 knows it was a pain. Well, then I got done with that, and I got back from the cruise, and I decided to get it published. I sent it to about a dozen publishers, Bain, Pinnacle, Del Rey. I even tried Harlequin, the romance guys, right? They all rejected it. So I decided that I would just put it away on a floppy disk, mind you, and forget it. And that's when the dream faded. Then one night, I was at the HRBT North Crash. I was working for a company, Tidewater Express. And I was in the crash house, and there was a guy in there with me, a VDOT guy. And we got to talking, and I mentioned my book and the story I just told you, going through trying to get it published. And he says, "Hey, I know a guy who went through the exact same thing as you. And trying to get his book published, he couldn't do it either, so he decided to open his own publishing company, right? To help aspiring authors like myself get their books out there. This guy gave me the contact info, and after much self-doubt and questioning myself, and yet definitely praying about it, I took the leap of faith and contacted them. Well, they wanted me to send in a little bit of the book for them to review. I figured, why not? Had nothing to lose, everything to gain. So I sent them some chapters. And after a couple of weeks of some anxious waiting on my part, they contacted me and said they loved the book and wanted to publish it. Well, it was unbelievable. I was floored. I couldn't believe it. So we set up a meeting, and this began the journey that has culminated in today, my first book, Jake SLADE. Now, I would like to take this time to personally thank some of those people who were instrumental in this process. First and foremost, come on in, guys. First and foremost, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because without Him, none of this would be possible. He gave me the words when I was stuck. He gave me the courage when I was afraid. And He also gave me the determination when I lost it. There was a point where I said, I can't do it. And then he spoke to me and said, finish it. And I did. All right? He's also given the fire inside of me to continue writing. All right? I have to give all glory goes to God at this point, because He is the one. Next, I'd like to thank my wife, Michelle, who's sitting back there in the back row. She has supported me and provided invaluable feedback when I run ideas by her. Okay? My daughter, Olivia, who also shares my passion for writing and also was a great sounding board for my ideas. She offered some very unique suggestions when I needed them. I'd like to thank my friend, Hugh Arrington, sitting right there. He's also a writer who patiently listened to me ramble on and encouraged me with his ideas and his own enthusiasm. I thought, wow, I'm excited about the book, but I've never seen somebody else get as excited as Hugh did. My boss, Tim Hairsign, sitting right there, who allowed me to use my computer while I was at work to finish this book. All right? He's one of the best bosses I've ever worked for. I've worked for a lot of guys, and this guy's one of the best. I'd like to thank the owner of Tidewater Express, Mike Pelfrey, sitting right back there in the back. Mr. Pelfrey, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. I appreciate you hiring me and giving me a chance to work for you. I love this company, and I'll do anything for it. I'd like to thank Caitlin and Anitra. They were my contacts at Empress Publishing, and were outstanding guides through the development of my characters, storyline, and they also had some very good suggestions for Jake and Jane to go through. Now, there were people behind the scenes that I never met, so I'm going to call them Team Empress. These are people I never met, but lent their insight, artwork, and suggestions to the storyline, and have truly made Jake SLADE a terrifically great read. I'd like to thank my real mom, Anna Forgione. She couldn't be here today. She got called home about a year or so ago, so I know she's looking down and she's smiling at me. Now, and I saved the best for last. This guy is the sole reason I'm here today. All right, he's the guy that introduced me to Empress, got me to step out of my comfort zone, take the leap of faith, and see if I could be an author. Bill Blackwell, sitting right back there in the corner. Bill, you are my friend, and you will always have a place at my table. When I'm rich and famous in Hollywood, you're the one guy I won't forget. Unless I do, and then all bets are off. So everybody knows, Jake SLADE is a continuing story. All right, this is just book 1. I've completed book 2 in the series, and I'm working on book 3 right now. I've also worked on, I have 5 short stories that I'm working on, and I hope to have all of them done by the end of this year. So hopefully by the middle of next year, we'll have another Jake SLADE book, and a bunch of short stories that you guys can enjoy. I put so much more in store for Jake and Jane, that things that will make them question their own lives and what their purpose is in the next book. So make sure you come along for the ride. It's sure to be entertaining. Now, I ask one thing of anyone who reads my books. When you're finished reading Jake Slade, I would appreciate some feedback. You know, whether, what did you like about the book? What did you dislike about it? What could I have done better? Nothing derogatory, please. Constructive criticism only. That was for all my sailor friends out there. This will allow me to make the subsequent books better and more enjoyable for everybody. All right? You can. I'm going to put my email address in every book that I sign today, and you can text me or you can catch me on Facebook. All right? In closing, there's so much of me in this book. I modeled Jake after several people. But the code he lives by is also the same one that I live by. Okay? And I won't cross anything off my code, just like Jake won't. His honor and his character are the same as me. I think that makes a character in a book so much better when the author puts himself into the character himself. And my hope is that when you read Jake Slade, that you can relate to him and Jane, or maybe even the bad guy. You know, maybe you relate to the bad guy in the book. You know, I hope you grow to love the story and the characters as much as I do, so that when book 2 comes out, you'll be excited to read it. All right, I'd like to thank you all for coming.